What's up, guys? It's Jane, and you're listening to Jane Plays Games. If this is your first time listening to me, I'm just your average noob trying to button mash my way into gaming. And for those of you returning, thanks for coming back. I know I said this would be posted on Sunday, but I caught the death flu over the weekend and slept for like 3 days. But I'm back, and today I'm joined by my boyfriend, Jack. Say hello.
Hello. How are you all doing?
Yeah, he's kind of been my sensei in my attempt to get into gaming. I would be still pointing at the floor. Like, how would you say I've improved since you've been my sensei?
Significantly. Yeah, it was a rough start there for a little while.
It was very frustrating.
It was a little painful to watch. I think a 5-year-old outplayed you at one point.
That was one time. One time.
Still happened.
Whatever. So anyway, yeah, he's been helping me improve a lot. So I kind of wanted his 2 cents in the games that we have been playing. So let's jump right in and talk about what we've been playing lately. I did want to do a follow-up real quick. So I know I talked about Destiny 2 last week, but I want to touch on it again and just update everyone because I'm sure you're all dying to know. But I did complete story mode all by myself. No help. 100% me.
You did want help, though.
I did want help.
And I refused it to you.
Yeah, and I could have cried tears of actual joy. I was so proud of myself, and I feel like the world needs to know that I beat a game start to finish in story mode.
You're welcome.
Myself. I mean, it's pivotal information. You're welcome. Yeah, you're right. But then, to keep me humble, they put me in the Crucible, and I got my ass handed to me a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It was really bad. So thanks, Crucible, for keeping me grounded. But yeah, so I still have some work to do. Still playing it, still enjoying it a lot. My Titan is sitting at power level. Is that what you want to call it? It's like a power level?
It's light level.
Light
That's
level.
What they call it.
Sure.
But yeah, power level's also correct.
273 right now, if that means anything to you. Where are you at? Okay, so Jack is playing as like all the characters. He's beat the game like 6 times already to my ones.
It's only 3.
Only 3 to my ones.
I have 1 character per, which is what most people have.
Should I?
Well, no, not really. But yeah, a lot of people have 3. It's so you can raise your light level by juggling between everybody.
Why are we doing that? I've been stuck at 273 for like a minute.
Because you would have had to start from the beginning again.
I would have to do the story mode again?
Yes.
I'm good right now.
Yeah, I figured. That, and really the only reason you'd be doing it is for raid prep.
Yeah.
And that's not really something that you're ready for right now.
What am I ready for? Like, honestly, I've been ready for none of what you've thrown at me, so.
It's true, but the problem is it's so much less forgiving than everything else we've been doing. And it's 5 other people. There's not a lot of respawns, and it's hard to help somebody else. Like, everybody kind of needs to know what they're doing. It's more of a test of group mastery than personal. And it's hard to help. And if everybody's not putting forth the effort, it's harder to carry. And especially in our group, we don't have anybody that can just hard carry on their own.
Got it. Well, that makes sense. But I'm still enjoying it. Like, it's still fun. Like, they just brought back, what was it? Is it the factions?
Yeah, they did the faction rally, and that was the player versus environment stuff, and that was fun. There's just not a lot left for you right now. Like, yeah. There's the raid at the end, but I think a lot of people are running into the same problem where there's not a whole lot to do at the end. There's ways to raise your light level, but if you don't do outside research, which you haven't really done, you've just been playing the game because you enjoy the game, you kind of hit a hard stop where it's like, well, how do I keep raising this? Because the game's telling you, hey, raise your light level, and then it's not giving you a consistent way to do that. Well, it's giving you a way to do it. It's just not explaining the ass-backwards way you have to do it.
Yeah, like, there was no explanation. That's one thing I did notice in Destiny 2, that there was very little explanation mechanically Do you know what I mean? Like with your character trying to raise light levels, like you were talking about, there's no like tutorial or how to, or even, any sort of guide for that.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they give you the luminous engrams, which will always raise your light level, but they don't explain that that's what's happening, and that's really your only outlet. They also don't explain where your levels are going to plateau, like at 265. It's like, you're not really going to go anywhere until you get either exotic items or luminous engrams that are going to push you over that hump. And they don't do a good job explaining that to people, so it's like, if you were just playing and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to grind out gear the way I've always grinded out gear, you're going to go nowhere. Like, unless you get lucky and you get an exotic engram drop. But other than that, you've hit a wall and you're not going to understand why or how to progress.
Yeah. So I'm kind of stuck right now. So I think that's kind of tapered off, and we've gone into, because like, yeah, I can't really do anything else right now unless I was going to do the raid. And mechanically, like me as a player, I don't think I'm ready. You're right. I'm not ready for the raid just because I'm not mechanically there yet.
And there's nothing else right now.
Right.
Like, now that we've gotten to the end.
It's more of the same.
And we've done a lot of the stuff. Like, there's the Nightfall Strikes, which, because they're timed, it's actually harder, I think, to get better at them. Because we're constantly rushing if we're going to get through. And it's not like the old one or the original, where you kind of had to survive. If you wiped, then everybody had to start again. It's less forgiving for new players, obviously, but it's the sequel, so it's kind of the assumption that you've had some familiarity with the first one. But
I think that's kind of segued us into our newest game. Yeah,
that's why I moved on to Vermintide. And Vermintide is a melee-based co-op game where you're trying to get from the start point to the end point, similar to Left 4 Dead, except with a much more, with a focus on melee, and you still have ranged weapons, but they're not your primary. You're mostly going to be blocking, pushing, stabbing, and trying to plow your way through with melee weapons.
Yeah, and I'm having a really good time with this. I feel like it's an easy way to kind of work on my aiming and mechanically, just like that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't want to button mash my way, through a game. I want to be mechanically okay at it. You know what I mean?
It's got the run and gun aspect of Left 4 Dead without the necessity for aiming. So you can get away with swinging a lot more, but there's still the complexity of needing to be able to block and push and still move together as a team, which is what I feel like you need the most, is that you have mechanics of moving and you have the mechanics of shooting down correctly, but you haven't put them both together yet. So the fact that the game is more forgiving, where you don't need to be as accurate with swinging a sword or an axe or something like that, you can kind of sweep across the screen, still hit what you need, but up against the more complex enemy types, you still need to be able to block and understand what's happening. So you're not going to put together like in Destiny, where you need to be, running, jumping, shooting, and doing all that at the same time. You need to be doing 2 at a time instead of 3. So I feel like this is a better game to bridge and build those skills, because all this stuff connects to each other.
Right.
Like, getting better at one first-person shooter is going to make you better at most, if not all, other first-person shooters. And while this is more melee-based, it's still first-person. It's still the same idea, and there is some ranged weapon play. I mean, it's bow and arrow, but it doesn't operate too dissimilarly from the scout rifle. So it's all building something.
Yeah, and I feel like I've improved. Quite honestly. Well, so I think, in my opinion, it's like 2 gaming milestones. Do you know what I mean? Like, 2 things happened in Vermintide this week. One, I actually got yelled at. I got yelled at because I'm competent enough to be yelled at now.
Yeah. So me and my friends, we we like to win and we are rather intense. We would be described as tryhards for most of the time. And Haley's like, you know, you guys are great. You don't yell at me. It's like, yeah, we don't really yell at you because we're not confident in your abilities yet. So it's like there's really no reason to yell at you because you're still building. So we were in an intense moment where I couldn't kind of be sugarcoating what was going on because I was also focused. So she was not performing up to what I know she can do, and so I'm like, what are you doing? and
I had my first rage.
And yes, you did.
Okay, so if y'all knew me, I think I'm a pretty sensitive soul. I think I'm a gentle spirit. It takes a lot to anger me. I don't remember what I said. Do you remember how I raged or what I said?
I don't remember exactly what you said, but it was to the effect of, I'm lagging, it's not my fault. I think
it sounded just like that in that octave.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I was possessed by the rage demon.
And
it was great.
It wasn't her fault. She was having some kind of glitch. I'm not really sure what it was exactly.
We still haven't figured it out.
Xbox was probably updating in the background and everything was just running slow.
Yeah.
So who knows?
So I experienced lag for the first time, and the hellish. I mean, it's a hellscape. It's
super fun, right?
Oh my god, I didn't understand all those videos online of like gamers freaking the fuck out, like it's lagging. Like I get it now on an emotional, spiritual level. I get why lag is the worst thing that's ever happened to anybody.
It's because it's not a reflection on your performance.
Yeah.
But no one is aware of that, nor do you have any way to prove it unless somebody's in the room with you.
So yeah, that was it was real bad. It was a bad time. But no, I think we should play Vermintide tonight. Actually, we should do that.
We can probably do that.
Cool.
Make that happen.
Make it happen. I think that's all we've been really focusing on console-wise, and the only thing we've been playing PC-wise is Total Warhammer 2, which I think this is my favorite game we've actually been playing lately. I think I'm having the most fun with it. Like, I lose track of time, completely. I'm in a completely different world where I'm a tyrannical she-beast, and it's great. So, Total Warhammer 2 is... How do you want to describe it? You describe it.
I don't know what the technical term is. I think grand strategy is correct. If anybody has...
It's like Civilization.
Yeah, if anybody has a correction for that. It's like Civilization with RTS combat mechanic. Instead of just running people into each other like you would in Civ, you get an actual battle. All of your units do different things in that fight, and you manage them like a general if you've never played the Total War series. Even if you have played the Total War series and you don't really like the fantasy setting, I would still suggest it because most people agree that this is the best Total War game. The way that you can kind of take over the map and the different things you can do, it's just a lot more diverse than the previous titles.
I'm loving it. We're playing as Dark Elves, and my general is a tyrannical witch.
Well, they're Dark Elves. They're all tyrannical.
I mean, they're the worst. Like, your guy's is more angry than mine. All he does is scream.
My guy does yell a lot. Anytime you're hovering over Melikath and in the overworld while you're deciding what to do, he's just yelling. Yeah. And
that's all he does.
So I have to click off of him because I'm like, okay, this is irritating. Please stop.
Marathi, my character at least has some clever clap back anytime you hover over. She's very sassy, which I like. Yeah. I'm totally about it. But yeah, yours just screams, and it's hilarious to me.
And you've been improving in that significantly too. You went from...
Oh, I had a hard time with the controls. I think that PC controls are a little bit harder than console controls, if you've never done it before or if it's been a while.
Yeah, I think, and I kind of thought it would be the opposite, mostly because you're used to playing, used to using a PC.
Right.
That has been incorrect. So I was very wrong on that assumption.
Yeah, it's a lot harder on PC.
Yeah,
I think I kind of get it now. Like, I mean, when we played last night, I didn't have a problem at all.
Yeah, and it's mostly just a tactics thing where you're not, and you've kind of ironed that out too, where you weren't sure how to utilize the units properly, but you've mostly figured that out. I'm still figuring out a bit, mostly because I was never really in depth in the Total War series, so I'm learning as well. But the campaign map and what you're running into now is that you need to manage your entire culture and your.
My people keep rebelling against me, and I keep having to like shit kick the fuck out of them until they are like complacent again. And
which you're gonna kind of need to do with the Dark Elves anyway.
Yeah.
But you've exacerbated the problem a bit by expanding strangely, and you're still not quite sure what buildings do what and what ratio to build them in. So, and you're figuring it out, and I'm letting you figure it out because I don't want to tell you the wrong information because I'm still figuring it out to a point. I have a loose grip on it, but I'm not going to say, hey, this is what you need to do because I'm not really sure. So I'm still playing around with strategies and trying to figure it out on my own. I'm sure I could look it up, but I'm not that interested in doing that.
Yeah, so we'll definitely keep you updated on the campaign. I think it's going swimmingly. I mean, apart from the rebellions and
we're bringing
trucking
the other Dark Elves into line, and I'm beating up the raiders in the north.
Yep.
While trying not to freeze to death. So that's always good.
It's been a solid run. So yeah, we'll definitely be updating and definitely look forward to streaming. So I know I like talked about streaming in the last podcast. I'm talking about it again. We're so new at this. This is the babyest baby project. This is baby's first podcast. This is baby's first video game. This is baby's first everything. So we finally ordered a camera, and it should be coming on the 27th. So by next week, we should start being able to stream on Twitch, and obviously those links will be down below, and you'll see more YouTube videos here too. So be looking forward to like tutorials and streaming, and
hopefully that'll coincide with the grand campaign of Total Warhammer 2 coming out.
Yep.
So the grand campaign is a combination of the original Total Warhammer's map and Total Warhammer 2. It's all kind of squished in a bit, but all the races are where they're supposed to be on the map in the, fantasy quote unquote world. But it's mashing both of the games together. So what you're getting is if you own the original game and whatever DLCs you own in the original game, you can use that in the second game. This wasn't explained super well in the press releases at first. I think more places are reporting on it more clearly. But yeah, if you own the first game and whatever DLCs you own in the first game, you can use in the second game. If you don't own them, you won't be able to utilize the DLCs, but you do still need the first game to play the grand campaign.
I think it's totally worth it. Quite honestly.
It's an interesting way to make the DLCs worth your money, because instead of being like, okay, well, the Norsican race was a DLC race in the first game. Well, they're not just reskinning it for the second game and charging you again. Instead, you get to keep what you've already bought, which I think is DLC is nature of the beast at this point. So if you're going to do it, it's nice that it carries over and is apparently going to carry over for the third game as well.
Sweet, I didn't know that.
Yeah, everything from you bought stuff in the first game, and it's going to carry into the second and into the third.
That's going to be a huge universe. That's going to be really cool, actually.
That's what everybody's talking about is the just level of stuff that's going to be in it. I'm really interested to see how it pans out. It seems like a good idea. I hope if it works, we'll see what other developers try it or how they look at it.
I think it'll be interesting. I'm excited. That's good.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Well, now I think we've talked about everything we really like this week. Can we talk about stuff we hate? this week because I have a few. I didn't have any on my list last week because I was really enjoying all my time in Game World. But I think I've reached a point that I found games that I'm really hating.
Okay.
So games I'm done with. I hate. I'm over. I hate it the most.
Got it.
All right, Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, I wanted to like this game so much. I talked about it last week, too. I was like, it's so beautiful. It's artistically driven. Like, I did this whole little spiel. Fuck that game. The physics are fucked. I keep falling. I'm not good at platform games. I don't have the spatial reasoning to be good at platform games. I'm fucking over it. I've died too many times.
I didn't realize you were done with it.
I mean, I would like to beat it, but right now I'm so mad at it, I can't pick it up.
I really can't comment on it. I haven't played Ori and the Blind Forest. It kind of got lost in the stack of like indie games I heard about, but I never picked up myself.
You pick it up because I fucking hate it. It's the worst.
All right. I've got Cuphead to play.
Oh my gosh! So let's talk about fucking Cuphead. I don't know how you coerced me because there's no way. I didn't ask for this. I didn't want this.
You liked the animation style.
I did. I thought it was very cutesy, but I've heard nothing about. I've heard nothing but it's the hardest game ever. Do not enter, not for noobs, about Cuphead. So I was kind of avoiding it.
Yeah, you got wrecked.
I got
that being said, you still did perform. You made it through the tutorial without a problem. So
I mean, we can't say that for, some game developers and bloggers. It's fine.
No, but I wanted you to take a look at it. It was a different style game. It was clear in the first 5 minutes this was not going to work.
I was not enjoying myself.
No.
I was pouting.
And it was doubly worse because I was making it through better on my own, which wasn't making you feel better about the situation. And I don't think I was helping, even though I wasn't trying to put you down or anything like that.
I just felt defeated.
Yeah, you really hated it, and so
I want to be good at Cuphead though.
Not gonna make you play that anymore.
No, it'll be. I will return to Cuphead. I'll return to Cuphead before I return to Ori and the Blind Forest because fuck that game. Over it. The physics don't make sense. I don't like it. It's adorable, but I hate it. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it is what it is. And then I think, okay, on a more positive note, we'll end up on a positive note.
I think we've got a ways to go before positive notes at this point.
No, because Kingdom Death is coming out.
Oh yeah, that is. That's not. Is that the end?
No, okay, a minute. Why did you want to talk about what you've been playing?
I've been playing Dragon's Dogma.
That's Capcom, right?
Again, yes. If you've never played Dragon's Dogma, definitely one to look at. They just did the remaster. I definitely take a look at it. I've been playing it because I didn't get Shadow of War. I didn't get Shadow of War because I've got a big, cross to bear like everybody else about making a stand about loot boxes. It's mostly just been bad press after bad press event that it's just kind of killed my enthusiasm for the game, and it's made it a lot easier for me to make the choice I should make with most AAA games, or most games in general, is there's so many games I have to play, and you're not releasing a complete package to me anyway. I might as well just wait a year, buy everything at a discount rate, instead of paying, $60 to $100 for... If I just exercise patience, I wouldn't be spending that much. And it just made it easy to make that choice. Yeah. It's like instead, Dragon's Dogma came out, and I had fun with that before, and I wanted to play it again. So that's what I'm doing instead. And the further away I get from the release of Shadow of War, the less that itch of I need to play it now will go away.
Yeah.
I mean...
It's just scummy. Like, anything I've heard out of that game is just kind of sleazy.
It's not so much that game in particular.
It's just that culture.
It's just kind of shifting there, where I think it's going to come back to bite them. I think it's coming soon. So, good. It only benefits gamers, so I'm all about that. And I just don't like it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I think the loot box thing is just bad in general, and it's just been made worse and worse and worse. Like, it's just scummy, and it's distasteful at best, I think.
Definitely. What else did you have any updates? Anything you want to talk about real quick?
Yeah, if you haven't played Battle Chasers Night War, excuse the name, because the name is a bit of a mouthful, and it's based on an old comic. I think it was early 2000s, late 90s, but regardless, it is a old school turn-based RPG. It's really awesome. If you like the old turn-based RPGs, and there aren't a lot out there anymore, definitely check it out.
Is that the one you were playing the other day?
Yep.
It's got a really cool art style too, for any of the snobs out there like me.
It is very interesting. It looks a lot cartoony is not the right word, but
it's quite stylistic. I think it's
comic book.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, and it's based off a comic book, so I guess it should look that way.
Yeah.
So.
No, it kept true to it, and I think it was really pretty. I didn't play it, but it's aesthetically pleasing, which I'm about.
It's very cool. It just kind of has a name that I know has turned off some people, but check it out.
As bad as Mindhunter. Things as bad as
We're not talking about Mindhunter.
Okay.
Awesome show.
Horrible name. The worst. But you know what's not a horrible name that's coming out? This is the worst segue ever. I'm so sorry, Mike. Our good friend Mike Lombardo has a movie coming out, and I want to plug it really quick.
Yes, my good friend Mike Bardo.
Do you know his name?
You know, I've only been friends with him for years. I'm just gonna fumble his name. Don't worry about it. I've been drinking. My good friend Mike Lombardo. He runs Real Splatter, REEL, and he just finished his first feature-length movie, I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday.
He's premiering it in like 2 days.
It is premiering. We'll be linking all the premiere dates and information at the bottom, so you can check that out. We'd appreciate that. And speaking of silly names...
Can we talk about Kingdom Death now?
We're going to talk about Kingdom Death...
Thank God.
Monster. So, if you don't know about Kingdom Death, it's this beast of a board game.
It's 20 pounds.
Yeah, it's just a monster of a board game. It's over-designed, but that's what people wanted out of it. That's why it is the way it is. And you can look up YouTube videos about kind of how ridiculous it is, but we'll be having an unboxing video of that. And if people want to see it, we can record playing it.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful gaming table that you'll get to see. But so we're very excited about that because we've been waiting for that for a year now.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, the Kickstarter is one of the most successful Kickstarters ever.
How much did they end up making? Or
like 15 million.
Yeah, it's a shit ton of money.
But I'm excited for it. I've been excited for it, and it got delayed a bit. That's because the game was so heavy that it was destroying the boxes he was originally trying to ship it in. So he had to find new boxes. So hopefully that'll be coming soon and be able to share that too.
Absolutely. Well, I think that about wraps things up this week. Definitely thanks for tuning in. This has been Jack and Jane, and this has been Jane Plays Games. Definitely check out all of our social media down below. I'm going to link everything we talked about today, all the social media. If you're not following us there, that's where we're going to post stream dates. That's where we're going to ask you questions and post updates.
Yeah, and also, I think we both appreciate feedback about if you want us to talk more about industry stuff or Jane's personal journey, like whatever you guys want to hear, what you're most interested in, that's
we want to talk about it.
What we're going to go with. If you think that it should be separated and on 2 different platforms or videos or different podcasts talking about different subjects, we'd love to hear what you guys think.
Definitely. Yeah. It's going to be a good little adventure. Thank you so much for listening and sticking with us. Like I said, this is Baby's first podcast, so I'd love to have you grow with us and really learn what the hell we're doing. So I'm going to try to keep a more balanced schedule this week since I'm not recovering from death flu. So you can be expecting a new podcast on Sunday or Monday of next week. And with that being said, I'm Jane.
I'm Jack.
This is Jane Plays Games. Thank you, and insert clever outro here.